Nice. BitChute is live as well, and Censortube is live. Nice. We're live everywhere, and the connection seems to be very good, very good. 45 megabytes per second. Um, yep. Good, good, good. Adramas, greetings, greetings. How are you doing? Praise and glory. Hope you're doing well, brother. Have fun. I'm just making sure our connection is good, and it is good. We're around 4 megabytes per second plus per stream, so that's good. Elder God, how are we doing? Let's have a good stream, great stream. Let's have a great stream. Let me know if there's anything up with the sound, okay? Because I've had to change the cable on it. Um, as a backup, I had it. I might have to upgrade my mic, um, because the connection, from what I understood, the Yeti mics, the connection at the bottom loosens over time. So I either find someone to fix it up or not. Chase Hudson on such tube. How are we doing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mafia. Salute. Salute. Hope you're doing well on Censortube. Adramas. I've been on a detox for about 8 days now. Miserable. Are you? Crap. Detox usually after the first couple of days you should start feeling really good. But I've only detox, not fasting. Fasting 8 days is a long time. Detox depends what type of detox. I don't think I've ever done a detox. I've just done fasting, but I should do a detox too. Rick Grimes, salutations. Hope you're doing well. Chycho, good to see you, brother. Much love. I hope you're doing well. Indeed, indeed. I've been harvesting a lot of stuff from the garden. Chase, hope the Fed don't try to take down the stream this time. I hope not. Hopefully, I think it was just probably something from my end. It had to be something from my end, because Rumble was acting a little funny at the beginning too, right? So we'll leave it at that. Too many coincidences. If we say the wrong word and the stream dies, then we know. Then we know, right? Intentionally, not a good time in England. No, not a mad. Crazy week. It's a crazy week indeed. I agree. I agree. It's gonna get crazier. We've been saying this. It's gonna get amplified, 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 and it is. And it is. We got our cigar. I got a new drink today. Just cleansing, yeah. Oh, cleansing kidney. 5 more days, then I'm complete. Nice. And then you're gonna tox it up again. Yeah. Gang, I got myself some Bushmills Irish whiskey, 10-year-old, and aged in bourbon and cherry casks. Okay, so I've never had this one. I've had Bushmills before for sure, but I've never had this one. uh is it spicy? Nice. Difficult thing to seal. Look at this guy. No, I won't use my teeth. Matthew Horn, intentional. Oh yeah, that's it. Bushmills is a phenomenal. Indeed, indeed. The Irish know how to drink it well. What the? No, I got scissors here. What am I doing? Because I want to harvest some grapes. There we go. That should do it. Just need a cut on it. Nice. Nice. It's a nice bottle. What's going on in the UK? Oh, UK, we'll talk. LSB, we'll talk about it. What's going on in the UK? Eh? Let me. Oh, that's a nice sound. That's a nice sound. Oh, such a fine smell. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. We're gonna go neat. Indeed. We're gonna add a. Actually, I'm gonna drink a little bit, just neat. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of water. And then I don't know if we're gonna go on the rocks, but I do have some ice here. I do have some ice here. Uh, just some Oh, Adramas, just did some ear candles. Clean out all the wax. Feels good in the ears. Does it? I'm scared to do it, tell you the truth. I've heard about it. I've known people that do it. But I'm just like, I don't know. It just feels weird to me. You do a cone and you put hot heat and stuff. It just feels weird. A little bit commences to fill the whole glass. Gang, salute. Welcome to our live stream. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday, fantastic day. I hope you're aware of what's going on and what is to come. I hope you're prepared for it. I hope you are on the right path and know your place, or where you want to be in this life. Salute, gang. Very nice drink. A very nice drink. Very nice drink. I'm gonna take a few more sips of it neat like this, and then add a little bit of water in there, the way Cheryl recommended to us. Guantanamera Cristales, right? And it's a nice smoke. UK is under civil war yellow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we have on the map, right, Aldegod? We figured UK was going to go yellow. We thought France would go sooner. But UK is there. Pray for UK. It's the Western world. That is the plan they have for the Western world, right? So it's a Western world thing. It's just the World Economic Forum is based in the in Davos, right, in the European Union, and major players are, they have the tentacles into most of the European countries before they got their tentacles into Canada, Australia, US, and New Zealand. Even though New Zealand, Australia, and Canada, like Canada did some stuff that the UK and the European Union hadn't done yet, which was freeze people's bank accounts for nothing, right? Elder God, add room temperature water? Is that what you're saying? It says deletion of sovereignty and brings us into an equilibrium. I don't know if that, I gotta process that, Adramas. It's a deletion of sovereignty, that I agree with, and brings us into equilibrium with the rest of the Western world, I'm assuming you're saying. I punched out a few libs yesterday. Ken's corner on Rumble. Salutations, salutations. Hope you're doing well. Yo, Chycho, who is your favorite historical figure? Mine is Vlad the Impaler. I know Vlad the Impaler from comic books that have introduced it, or there was a TV series that introduced the Impaler. I can't remember which one it was. That's where I got most of my info on it. Who's my most favorite historical figure? Tesla would be it. Like, for me, man, I would love to have dived into the mind of Tesla. Like, really. And Salvador Dali I like too, but he was more of a showman. Tesla was more eccentric, in my opinion, even though Dali was very eccentric, but Dali had a way with finance and society that Tesla did not, right? Like, Dali would go to restaurants and feast and have, drinks, and pay for everybody's food of his friends and stuff like this, and then he would write a check, and none of, from what I understand, none of the restaurants would actually cash that check because Dali's signature was worth more than what the bill was for the restaurant, right? And Dali was basically broke. He didn't have any money in the bank where he's writing a check, so he was bouncing checks, but he wasn't really bouncing them because no one was cashing them because his signature was worth more, and he would probably put a little drawing on it, right? Maybe we all reach that level one day. Salute, gang. Ali says Rene Descartes for me, really. Rene Descartes. I know the name, I can't remember what Descartes did. What did Descartes do? And why Vlad the Impaler? Ken's Corner. Why Vlad the Impaler? Just brings nothing, what do you call it? Retribution to those that deserve it. Equilibrium. Oh, let me read equilibrium. Adramas gave us the equilibrium definition. Equilibrium. Oh, Equilibrium, the movie Equilibrium. Ah, okay. Into Equilibrium, that's what you're referencing. Cool. That was a great movie, by the way. In an oppressive future where all forms of feeling are illegal, a man is charged in charge of enforcing the law rises to overthrow the system and state. Yeah, that was a great movie. Equilibrium, fantastic movie. You just watched it last night. Nice, nice. I watched it a couple times. Oh, actually more than a couple of times. Vlad fought the Muslim Turks. Did he? Okay, okay. I like the name, Vlad the Impaler. Matthew Horn, Chycho, you probably know the card for Cartesian mathematics. Yeah, it's through mathematics, but I can't place where, you know, what stuff. So Cartesian coordinate system, yeah. But he did way more than that. Most of those mathematicians did so much more than what they're known for, right? He's a philosopher and mathematicians. Yeah, a lot of, like for me, you know, as you know, I like going extremes, right? I've put out videos way back in the day in 2008, 2009, where I said where there was no such things as philosophers and physicists, they were all mathematicians at first, right? So for me, the best philosophers are mathematicians. Algod stuck them on a spikes, all 10,000 of them. This was this during the Ottoman Empire, and when during the Ottoman Empire, right? Otherwise, honestly, I feel like as time speeds up and progress, I'm feeling more and more lost in translation. Progress, yeah. I think we're supposed to feel that way because society, world is feeling more alien to us. Like people are doing things where you're like, how, why, right? And society is going down in a certain direction. So many NPCs out there, right? So many NPCs out there, right? So I mean, a lot of people that I've known for a long time, they feel alien to me, totally disconnected from them, because they're dancing on the Titanic, as we've mentioned before, and you're like going, whoa dude, like, don't you see what's happening? But they don't, right? Yeah, they're intentionally making the air, food, and water toxic. Amuse Gat, Life Erickson and Associated Vikings. Nice. I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings. I watched a couple of seasons of the Vikings series. It was pretty fun, but pretty ruthless. It was funny. There's a funny Viking series out there, and it was hilarious. It was really good, actually. I forget what it was called. Ken's Corner. Tesla was such an awesome man. It's a shame he got screwed multiple times throughout his life. Yeah, yeah. They Tesla underestimated his enemies, and that's something you cannot do. That's something you cannot do, right? Tesla underestimated the people that destroyed him. Okay, that's the biggest mistake. Art of War, Susan wrote about it, right? Know thyself and know thy enemy, right? He knew himself, but he didn't know his enemy at all, at all. Adramas. The thought that the Titanic was full of all the people against removing the gold standard on the US dollar. Yeah. Anyone that opposed the Federal Reserve. Oops. And then what's his name got off on last second, last minute. Craziness, craziness. Matthew Horn, don't want to charge into this topic too early, so feel free to address this question later. Do you think Iran's response will look like? Let's get into it right now. Matthew Horn continues. To me, I think it'll be a limited attack on infrastructure. I agree. So civilian targets, but no civilian targets, but shutting off power in Israel for a while. Iran says, "Hey, we can make life very hard for you." Yeah, I agree. So Matthew's question is this: what do you think Iran's response will look like? In my opinion, the number one target, I can tell you, if I was Iran, the first thing I would take out, as you said, all of it should be directed towards infrastructure, all of it. Iran and the axis of resistance, or the resistance, or humanity, has to be on the right side of history, and they have to play the game or conduct war in an ethical manner, if there is such a thing, and there is, because the Zionist Israel has shown us what unethical war looks like, genocide looks like, right? So the acts of resistance so far has been on the right side of history. They have conducted warfare with honor, if you want to think about it, right? So I think Iran's response will be against infrastructure as well. As you said, they may take out the power. Yes, that is one possibility. Personally, I think it might be, it's a pretty big leap, but I think Iran will, and if not will, I think Iran should take out Israel's ports. Okay, they should take out Israel's ports, just the same way Israel, UK, and the United States took out Yemen's port, right? So Israel, UK, and the United States took out, I believe it was Yemen's largest port, just firebombed it, right? In my humble opinion, tit for tat would be Iran and the acts of resistance should take out Israel's ports, right? Lock it up. Okay. Aside from that, power stations, knock them out. I think that's what. So Horn, I agree with you. I think that's what they should do, or I think that's what they will do. I'm against violence, right? John Summerford, salutations, chycho. I am drinking mango ashwagandha tea. Delicious. I am drinking Bushmills whiskey. Eagles and cycling. Do you believe the Israeli leaders are acting the same or even worse than the Nazis? Worse than the Nazis. Israel makes the Nazis look like Girl Scouts, selling cookies, right? Israel, horrendous. Genghis Khan was better than Israelis. Okay. Horrendous. Ken's Corner. Vlad was taken as a small boy with his brothers as prisoners by the Turks, was raised and educated by them, then grows up, rallies a batter Romania into powerhouse and holds back the Ottomans. Yeah, and Valor, Dracula, right? Untold tells the story. Well, Dracula Untold tells the story. Yeah, so he's the related to Dracula, right? That's where it's from. I'm going back to Twitch. Read some comments there. What's up, fellow Homans availability? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Cheers, available. About the remarks, hey chycho, Mr. Brainfree, salutations, hope you're doing well. Availability, I think Hezbollah released drone footage of two of Israel's two biggest ports, which makes up a large portion of the country's economic profits, so it would be targeted in a bigger escalation. I think so too. Yeah, and keep in mind, gang, one thing you should notice that might not have hit most people's radar if you're not following Wall Street, right? Intel, okay, company Intel, chipmaker, came out on Thursday or Friday and they missed their numbers hardcore. They said they're cutting their dividend, they're bringing their estimates down. Their bonds, they sold bonds, like just like governments sell bonds, corporations, high-end corporations sell bonds as well, right? Some mid-range corporations as well. So bond is basically, you know, you invest, you buy $10,000 worth of bonds from, I don't know if they're called bonds, private bonds, I guess, bonds from this corporation, and they promise to pay you 5% interest over 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or something like this. And those bonds sold off 20%, 30%. They took a 20%, 30% haircut, right? So Intel Networks is in deep poop according to the markets, and Intel Networks last year said that they were going to invest, I believe if I recall correctly, $25 billion extra, because they already have factories in Israel, right? They're going to spend $25 billion extra in Israel, right, in support of Israel, to build more factories and more chip processing plants or more offices and stuff like this, right? So here is moral of the story, right, which is the same thing that says play stupid game, win stupid prizes. Intel Networks came out in full support of Israel's genocide. They decided to invest a shit ton of money in Israel, right? And a year later, less than a year later, right, a few months later, they missed their numbers. They're cutting their dividend. Their bonds are selling 20 to 30% haircut from where they were before. And this is one of the top companies in the United States that has multiple offices around the world, right? They're in deep poop. They took a 30%, 27% haircut on Friday or Thursday. Stock dropped, right? Lost billions of dollars. Moral of the story, don't support genocide, you pieces of crap, right? Because you will pay a price, and Intel Networks paid a price, right? They supported Israel's genocide and they just lost billions upon billions of dollars, and those who invested in Intel lost billions and billions of dollars. F Intel, right? And any other corporation that is investing in Israel. That's why I believe is it important, that's strategic for the acts of resistance to take out Israel's ports, Israel's power plants, knock them out, knock them out, knock them out, knock them out. Not that I support violence, I support peace, but strategically that would be their best targets, right? But don't take out any water filtration systems. You don't want to attack civilians, right? Just going to read some comments on Censorship, gang. CTE, oh, a lot of comments. Do you believe the Israeli leader? Yeah. CTE on Censorship. Salutations. Silver Links. Greetings from Weimar Wasaga Beach. A little grape kush amidst the idiocracy. Salute, salute. I don't know where is that, the beach. I hope you're enjoying the beach right now. Salute, salute. Temperature is really good actually. It's not too hot, it's not cold, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's probably around 20 to 25. Hurrah, made it. This is Britain. Salutations. My internet was down. Oh no. John Summerford, how you doing? Looks like some cucumbers for snacks. I got some, yeah. I have some cucumbers and Kuku. I got some cucumbers from our CSA. Let me knock off the ass so it doesn't fall on me. Really nice. I didn't grow these, but I do have cucumbers growing. Okay. Once they're ready, I'll show them to you. Really good cucumbers. And cuckoos are back hardcore. I've been making a lot of cuckoo. This is half the greens from the CSA we get, and half the greens are from our garden, both the patio garden, some stuff growing in the front, right? So really nice cuckoo as well. Delicious cuckoo. I've been eating a lot of cuckoo lately, making lots and lots of greens and chopping them up, making cuckoo, getting great eggs. Super delicious. Definitely will be snacking later. Yeah, the Cuban sausage. This is Britain. Chase Hudson, who is your favorite world leader politician of all time, if you have one? My favorite politician of all time. I have to think about that. In general, I don't like politicians. Should I say the least like politician? Let me think about it. Ali, I don't know if you heard or watched Six Pullets, starring Marilyn Whalen. Sofa. No, I don't know that. Allahu Akbar, Ali. I'm going back to Twitch, gang. I'm gonna read some comments there. Catch up. Donald Trump. Adrama. Donald Trump says, maybe we'll pay off our 35 trillion debt by handing them a little crypto check, handing them a little Bitcoin. Yeah. Hilarious. What's going on with the more things that are going on with Bitcoin, the more is leaning towards it was actually a deep state operation to release Bitcoin. Okay, so be warned. Only Blizz on Twitch. Hope you're having a great day. I love to listen to you explain these world events without lashing out at chat. Very good streams. Yeah, thanks. I don't lash out too much. There are some people that show up that totally clueless, or they're total bots, or paid shells, or whatever they are. We do address them, but we don't freak out on them in general. I have lost it a couple of times, I think. Ezkiel, how are you doing? Welcome back. Cheryl, how are you doing? Cheryl, happy Sunday. I know you love your whiskey. Bushmills 10-year. I've never had this one. Very nice, very sharp. 10-year aged in bourbon and cherry casks. Okay, very delicious. Salute, Cheryl. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. In your honor, we'll add a little water to it. Oh, maybe a little too much, but just a little. Salute. It really takes away that crazy sharpness, lightens it up, lightens it up. Cheryl, getting the kiddo ready for football. He exclamation this week. Exclamation. Yuck. It's getting too hot. Is that what you're trying to say? Eskil Chicho. Have you heard about the EU wanting to regulate how live service games work? No, I haven't. I know they're trying to lock down the internet totally, right? But I haven't heard about the live services stuff, the gaming. They're attacking gaming. Crazy. Wow. They are the first to state that a digital item has the same rights as a real life product. What? Regulate how live service games work. They are the first to state that a digital item has the same rights as a real life product. I don't get it. What does that mean? What does that mean, Chycho? Well, in this case, it's actually a good thing, at least for the customer. Is it? I don't know what that means. Cheryl, getting them used to the heat before full camp. Ah, okay. It's nasty. It's really nasty. It's nice here. I love it. I love it. Abuse God on Rumble. NATO, the US appears to be ramping up naval defenses for Israeli ports. Oh, are they? They're going for the ports. Do you see any merit whatsoever in the targeting of Hamas? Do I see any merit whatsoever in the targeting of Hamas? Targeting the peace negotiators and stuff like that? Hell no. Of course not. You don't. And targeting them in Iran? That's absolutely insane. That's like United States assassinating Snowden in Russia, right? Like what Israel did with the assassination of the Hamas negotiator that went from Qatar to Iran. I forget his name. I can't pronounce it. Went to Iran and killing him in Iran is equivalent to the United States drone assassinating Snowden in Russia, while Russia and United States are pushing towards war, right? Would that be a good idea? Not a good idea. Not a good, bad effing idea. Bad idea. Does it accomplish anything for Israel? Absolutely not. The only thing it does, the only thing it accomplishes for Israel, it brings in United States and the Western world closer towards World War III in support of Israel. And citizens of the Western world should be pretty effing pissed at Zionists, at Israel, for trying to drag them into World War III. Like I can tell you, if Canada joins Israel's war against the axis of resistance, which is going to include Russia and China and stuff like this, I'm going to be shouting through the rooftops that no one should join the military and this is the wrong thing to do in Canada, right? So as soon as they even get close to that, I'm going to start going back to joining the anti-war protests. Like before, I can tell you, before the Afghanistan war, before NATO went into Afghanistan, this is after 2001, right? I was going to the peace rallies. There was like 40 of us there, right? Mostly women, right? But at what I was doing at that time as well, I was still partying. This was a long time ago, 25 years ago. So I was partying a lot. I was downtown a lot and stuff like this. But I printed up flyers, right? I took quotes from different people. I might still have a couple of some of those flyers out. I had quotes written by multiple people on a 8.5 by 11 paper. I not printed, but photocopied hundreds of these, right? I had them in my car. So I would go out partying. I would go to a bar, play pool usually and stuff like this. Build up, go to a club, go dance all night, go eat with friends after the club and stuff like this. Around 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 or 4, sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning, when everybody was going home, I'd go to my car, and my friends knew I was doing this. I'd go to my car, open up the trunk, grab a shit ton of those flyers, walk around in Vancouver at night, and put flyers, anti-war flyers, quotes saying why we shouldn't go to war in Afghanistan, right? After 9/11, that it was just a scam, on people's cars. So when they woke up in the morning, which would have been anywhere an hour to 2 hours after I put these flyers on, they would see those flyers, right? That's what I was doing pre-invasion of Afghanistan. Because anybody that knew anything of history knew that it was the dumbest thing the Western world could ever do. And they all jumped in, both feet, right? 20 years later, trillions of dollars later, all the lies came to be. Documents were leaked, freedom of information. Came out that everyone knew that the invasion of Afghanistan was not working and they were losing the war, but they kept on pushing it for 2 decades, 20 years, right? What's going on right now with Israel and Iran, what Israel is pushing the Western world to do with Iran, right, is orders of magnitude, orders, not order, orders of magnitude greater than what the Western world, United States and Israel, pushed the Western world to do in Afghanistan and Iraq. Okay. Minxie on Censorship. Do you smoke cannabis? I'm going to use weed. Do I smoke? I grow. I do believe in the cannabis culture. We have videos up on Censorship where we're harvesting our cannabis, and we're going to harvest our cannabis this year. I'm growing Durban poison and something else. I forget what it is. Right? Usually grow 4 plants. This year it just grew 2. I'm going to read Eskil's. The bee's buzzing me. Eskil's comment regarding this gaming thing. Game developers. So Lord Eskil says game developers have in the past suddenly cut off online games which people play for. Oh, EU wants to be able to prevent this. In other words, more rights on digital purchases in game purchases. Oh, that's a good thing. That's good. Wow, EU is doing something good. And why are the game developers cutting the games off? Man, I'd be pissed. What the F? That's like Amazon deleting. This happened a few years ago on the Kindle. Amazon reading, read books. I don't have one. I refuse to have one, right? But a few years ago, Amazon went to people's Kindle accounts. I think it was Kindle. Is it Kindle? What's that reading thing called? Went to their ebook library and deleted George Orwell's 1984. Deleted George Orwell's 1984 from their library, digital library. Just like, you can't make this crap up, right? Like total dystopian. They deleted the book that talks about deleting books. And that's one of the reasons that was the final straw for me not to have physical copies of books, not digital copies, even though I have some digital copies of books. Pirate Bay is your friend. Soulseek. Sustainable war is the goal. Managed by proxy. Crazy. Cheryl, but going fishing with the gals in a little while. So glad I was able to catch you for awesome. Probably Fahrenheit 451 too, probably. I know they did 1984. Cheryl, I would love to join you and your gals on a fishing trip. That would be a trip. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Fun. Skill, yeah. Also, more and more games work with a digital inventory of items games. But if you, for example, say something they don't like, they can ban you, and you just lost all your games. What? That's crazy. How is that even allowed? I would boycott the company, whoever it is, and just like go to Pirate Bay and get your games, man. Any company that like PayPal, like PayPal learned the lesson to a certain degree. They haven't, because they're still preventing people from doing transactions. Their stock, they started banning people from using their services. They have services to allow people to transfer money, buy things, and they started banning people from buying things using their services. Well, what happened to the stock price? Went from $300 down to $62, $65, $58. Right? Some tech companies have bounced again. PayPal hasn't. Why hasn't it? Because they're still banning people from using their services. Morons. Morons. First time chat on Twitch. Sleepy Siroquel. Sleepy's Sleepy Siroquel. Siroquel, is that a name? First time chat. Hey Chycho, hope you are well. I want to thank you for introducing me to Empire Files videos years ago. On one of your videos, they educated me about the evil of Israel. Would you ever be interested in talking again about your sources? Yeah, I've thought about it. You've been a gold mine for us. Thank you. My pleasure, Sleepy. Just to let you know, the last one I loaded up, which was like 3 years ago or something like this, CensorTube actually, because I provided links to all the sources, CensorTube actually removed one of the links because it went against their terms of service. So just imagine, CensorTube removed one of the links I provided as being one of the sources for the information I get. Wow, dystopian. But Sleepy, yeah, I think it's about time I do another one. Maybe we'll do it live. I'll go through it live, because again, I've dropped some sources that I used to go to. Some of them because they went full woke or something like that. Some of them just because I don't go to them anymore, right? And I've added a whole bunch of new ones, specifically in regards to geopolitics and economics, right? So Sleepy, thanks for bringing this up. Maybe we'll do one sooner rather than later. Okay, I'll put a list together. I'll start putting a list together. Okay. And glad you like the Empire Files. Fantastic. Abby is amazing. Sure. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Your girls, but who is this guy? Cheryl, doing a steel hit trip in the fall. So obvious next step is the PNW for salmon. Nice. Pacific Northwest for salmon. Nice. So yeah, let's do it. If you guys come to Canada, I'll do it. I'll join you guys. If you guys come to Canada, I'll join you guys. I'm not crossing the border into the States. Just can't do that. Right? Chycho and the ladies going fishing. Hopefully Chycho comes back alive. This has happened with Xbox, with PlayStation. It's a real issue. Crap. It's one of the reasons I always buy my games physically if possible. Yeah, but Eskil, from what I understand, a lot of my students have told me you can't buy physical copies of games anymore. Like some of the games they're not even selling to you as physical copies, right? Which is crazy to me, which makes physical copies of games, old school games, go up in value. in my opinion, right? If something's not available anymore. My favorite planet, love Empire Files. Indeed, 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 indeed. Real Xenomorph. EU also wants to return back the ability for people to manually change foreign batteries like we used to. Yeah, for sure, that needs to happen as well. Crazy that we allowed these technocrats to go so far and taking away our individual rights, eh? Crazy. Lord Eskiel also, it's because of the EU that the new phone has USB-C and not lightning cable. I don't know what lightning cable is. Which was a lightning cable? Adramas, that we are tax exempt when using our passports at checkout. When asked the name of the corporation, it's your name in all cap letters, and the number for the tax exemption is your passport ID number. Yeah, yeah. You got three identities, right? Your name all caps, your name with the first letters cap, your name no caps. I prefer, that's why I write chycho with no caps. The first C is not capitalized usually, right? Skill depends on the game, but indeed, some games are not viable physically. I personally wouldn't. The straw man, Adramas, the straw man, indeed. Jonah, what are you doing? Jonah Callis Waga. Jonah Callis Waga. Hi, Chicho. Do you know works by Michael Zarian, Lucifer and the Dark Side of the Sun, YouTube. Yeah, I looked into him a long time ago. I preferred Jordan Maxwell because Zarian, Michael Zarian, I think that's how you pronounce it. He was talking about a lot of same things that Jordan Maxwell was talking about, David Icke were talking about. He was adding an esoteric spin to it, which I liked actually, but we only have so much time, and I liked I went with the old school guy, the guy who's been at this game the longest, which was Jordan Maxwell, and followed his work more than Zarian and David Icke. I followed David Icke a lot back in the day, a lot, and as everyone should, like without a doubt. Yeah, Jordan Adramas says Jordan Maxwell, the amount of knowledge, unbelievable, right? As well as David Icke. Yeah. Eskil, pretty much all smartphones use USB-C now. Apple still uses their own cable. EU banned them from doing this to reduce waste. That's why they did. If everything has the same cable, you won't throw them away so much. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Apple products, man. Apple, what a evil corporation. What, just imagine the what's his name? the guy, the founder of Apple that died of cancer. I'm laughing because he was a piece of crap. What was his name? That's what happens to those people, you forget their name. When he died and they appointed the new CEO, the new CEO looks like him, right? But he's also gay, as far as I know. And he praised Saudi Arabia, and he would go to Saudi Arabia on visits to sell the Apple product. Meanwhile, if you're gay in Saudi Arabia and you're outwardly Steve Jobs, yeah, thank you, Steve Jobs, the person that followed Steve Jobs. If you're gay in Saudi Arabia and outwardly express your gayness, right? LGBTQ, you get your head chopped off. And this piece of crap will go to Saudi Arabia and party with them. All right? That's the hypocrisy in our society. Just full blown, right? Full blown. My protest phones are removable battery. Nice. The flip phones were the best. Pagers were actually the best. SQ. I have a lot of things against the EU, but when it comes to the big tech companies, they are cracking down on the power they have here. Yeah, but their EU is also pushing a lot of censorship on the internet, right? As are the what do you call it? Thank you, my favorite one. Steve Jobs comes in again. Uh, they're also pushing a lot of censorship, which the big tech companies do as well, right? But I agree with you. They've dinged Google, they've dinged Microsoft, and as you said, they looks like they've dinged Apple as well, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. Platonic pluralist, how are you doing? Hola, fellow Olympians. Adramas, the Hebrew translation for job is persecution. Is it? No way. Is it, Adramas? That's super cool. Language. That's one thing Jordan Maxwell goes into hardcore. Language. It's origin of language. Like seriously, one of the reasons I really like Jordan Maxwell, because he would take words and extrapolate the meaning of those words based on their root word, right? And connect it up to Latin and the origins of it and stuff. Brilliant, brilliant, right? For example, why is a ship's dock called a berth, right? So you go down that road, it's you could spend a lifetime in it. Linguistics, so cool, so cool. Sleepy. Adamas, the Hebrew word for job is, I don't know how to pronounce that, which is a masculine noun that appears 58 times in 52 verses of the WLC Hebrew. The word's root is something and means hated or persecuted. The name may also come from an Arabic word meaning repent, making it mean repentant one. Wow, cool. Pao Chang writes an amazing book on word magic and spelling. So good. I highly recommend. Really cool. I don't know that. Pai Chang. Pao Chang. This is why we should avoid getting a job. Platonic for us. This is why we should avoid getting a job. Tim Cook. Yeah, Tim Cook is the other dude. What a piece of crap that guy is, right? Really dislike him. I actually dislike him more than Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs was a piece of crap, and he didn't pretend to be anything else. Tim Cook pretends to be something else, right? Amuse Gad, do you use VPN? I do use VPN at certain times. Right now, I'm not using a VPN, right? But yes, we do have a VPN that we do use. Okay. Mafia says the laws are optional in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Chase Hassan, have you heard of that football player Jordan Henderson? I think so. He was pushing LGBTQ hard for years and then went to play in Saudi because of a huge paycheck. Crazy. Like that to me is insane, right? He got tons of heat for it, but now he's playing for Ajax in the Netherlands. Okay. Yeah, it's just insane. It's just insane. I had a friend party with a friend that was gay a few years ago, a long time ago. Went to Pride with him a long time ago and stuff like this. When I would, uh, it was different. It was different than what it is now. I can tell you that it was different than what it is now. Okay, I won't go to Pride now because no, for multiple reasons, right? But back then, I went to Pride with him, party with him, and stuff like that. We had a great time, and two things he told me that I told him, what are you out of your mind? Because he had Israeli friends and Saudi friends, right? And he turned to me and said, oh, Chycho, I'd like to go to Saudi Arabia. I go, what are you, crazy to chop off your head? And then he goes, okay, I'd like to go to Israel. I go, what are you, crazy? Israel? He goes, well, it's the only place in the Middle East where LGBTQ people are welcomed and stuff like that. I go, why? So they welcome you, but they commit genocide on other people, so you think it's okay to go there and party there and have a good time there just because they treat you well, but it's okay that they commit genocide on everyone else? No. So he wasn't as politically aware, geopolitically aware as I was, but we were really good friends. So I I didn't hold back on sharing information and calling them out on shit. Right now, you do that, some people they freak out, right? They're too woke for truth, right? Steve Jobs was a genius? I don't know. Steve Jobs was a piece of crap. I, he was he was a great salesman, Steve Jobs, and a lot of tech that he ended up getting, it was because he was buying off small companies and stuff like this and shelving it and releasing it slowly, right? It was just running a corporation, Wall Street model. Yeah, Adromas says it, the pride, right? Yeah, then it was about unity, and now it's about pushing their agenda on everyone else. Agreed. Like I used to go to Pride, and to me, when I celebrated Pride, it wasn't about pushing the LGBTQ agenda. It was about being proud of who you are and how you want to live, right? That to me was pride. I was proud of being chycho and the way I perceived the world to be, and I was very happy to be partying with my friends when they be LGBTQ, gay, lesbian, whatever, right? I didn't give a rat's ass. Now it's about forcing that shit down your throat, not be proud of who you are, but the LGBTQ agenda. I disagree with that. That's pure fascism. Fuck that, right? Plutarch was, which Near or Middle East country does Chycho travel bureau recommend? Which one I travel? Where to travel? I wouldn't travel in the Middle East right now. This thing's blowing sky high, right? It's gonna blow sky high. Before all this insanity with United States going into Syria, starting the war in Syria, Syria would have been an okay place to travel as a secular person, as someone, as a Christian, as a Muslim, as a Jew, as a as an Armenian, as someone who didn't believe in God. Doesn't matter. Syria is not a religious, and it has some amazing places, right? Historical places, civilizational history, right? So Syria would have been it, but now, no, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't travel to the Middle East. Steve Wozniak, yeah, Steve Wozniak was the genius one, right? And he got shafted by Steve Jobs. Screw Steve Jobs. Sleepy Jobs was an arrogant a-hole who was notorious for firing innocent employees because of his whiny tantrums in the halls of Apple headquarters. One was wise to avoid getting into elevators with him, as this was a known place for him to corner his subordinates and bully them. He was a coward. He was a piece of crap. Yeah, yeah, Sleepy. And I haven't looked into Steve Jobs for a long time, right? I looked into him in the 90s. He was a piece of crap then. He was a piece of crap in the 80s, and he became more and more of a piece of crap as time went by, right? So end of story, right? Put up yes, the Trekaz Z Syria travel clips were nice. Cheryl, I'm off, gang. Have a great weekend. I hope you catch a big one, Cheryl. Sell a chycho vacation to you girls. Atramas, any words on Julian? Yeah, Julian is downtime. Stella started posting again. Stella Assange started posting again, so I'm following her post, but it's mainly just thanking everyone and sharing some older stuff, which is fine. I would be totally fine with Julian not popping his head up again for a very long time, if ever, right? Elder God, the only pride group I support have very large teeth. Fine teeth you have, Atramas says. Okay, gang, we'll go back to Censorship to read some comments. Let's check it out. This is Britain. In the biblical book of Job, it says that the devil is walking on earth and not in hell, as most Christians think. The devil's walking on earth, not in hell. Okay, maybe Steve was true evil. Maybe. No, I think he was just a piece of shit. True evil. Bolton is true evil, right? One of the greatest true evil human beings on this planet would have been Rumsfeld. Pure, pure evil, vile, pure evil, right? Those are the type of evil, like Kissinger, evil, right? Those are the type of people I consider to be evil. These heads of corporations that are just greedy and just vile and bullies, I don't consider them evil. I just consider them to be pieces of crap. Okay, evil is another level. Evil is another level. My favorite planet. Where's your accent from? Is that all Canadian? I think so. I'm West Coast Canadian, but I do have I'm Armenian ancestry and from Iran from a long time ago, right? Some people say I have an accent. Some people get it right, some people get it wrong. Some people say I just sound like a Canadian. As far as I know, I sound like a Canadian. I've been here most of my life. What do you think of Venezuela? Venezuela, civil unrest, trying to do a CIA coup again, right? In the last 20 years, CIA has attempted, this is the third coup of Noah I know of in Venezuela, right? Sure, Maduro, a dictator. Sure, Maduro, was the elections legit? I'm not 100% sure, but I'll ask people this one question. Would you rather have Venezuelans governing Venezuela, Maduro, or would you rather have CIA running your country? Because the opposition to Maduro is CIA and Mossad. Okay, personally for me, I would rather have Maduro. Like if I was Venezuela, I know it's not good, Maduro there. The reason Venezuela is going through serious economic issues, has been going through, is because the CIA continues to try to run a coup and they can't do it, so they sabotage Venezuelan industry. They have sanctions up the yin yang on Venezuela. UK sees Venezuela's goals. United States sees Venezuelan corporations. Like they recognize some cokehead to be the head of Venezuela, so they could seize all Venezuela's assets and put more sanctions on Venezuela. So thoughts on Venezuela? Venezuela had hit bottom a couple of years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? It's on its way up. That's why the CIA is trying to run more coups on there, right? They want to get a hold of it because Venezuela is, the BRICS countries are starting to do a lot more trade with Venezuela and giving them support, right? Venezuela's economy is picking up, right? So Venezuela is on the uptick, right? So CIA and Mossad are desperate now. They need to get their hands on Venezuela ASAP. I'm hoping they won't be able to. Okay. King Vibe, a childhood friend of mine, was involved in the Syria stuff, real close to McCain and that stuff. Yeah, see, McCain is evil, pure fucking evil, right? Bye, Ali. I hope you have a fantastic Sunday. Ben Shikl. Hey Chycho, just finished reading Days of Destruction, Days of Revolt, and it was such a moving read. Such heavy, intense material, such heavy, intense. That's Chris Hedges and Joe Sacco gang, by the way. Highly recommended. Days of Destruction, Days of Revolt. Explains where the United States is headed and where it's coming from. Right? Yeah, I'm a 100% Canadian, right? My ancestry is my ancestry. My origin of birth is my origin of birth, but I'm a pure Canadian. I'm a hardcore Canadian, actually, right? I'm as Canadian as you can get, right? Mac jacket wearing, bushwhacking Canadian, right? Jonah. Hi Chycho. Chycho, Jordan Maxwell had great intelligence and big brain. What do you think about work by Santos Bonacci? I don't know if I know the work by Santos Bonacci. Jonah, I don't think I know. I might. Just if I see the face, I'll know. but the name doesn't ring a bell. But I'm crappy with names. Chase Hudson, Chycho got maple syrup in his blood. I love maple syrup. This is Britain. Yesterday I went for a crap whilst drunk. I had no toilet paper and grabbed my nearest comic. Oh, what? I'm dreading finding out which one I flushed away. Oh no. What? Dude, just go get toilet paper, take a shower. Don't use comic books at TP. Boris Boris comics, Boris the bear would use the animal comic books as TP. CPR, as a Venezuelan, I appreciate your feedback, man. Great thoughts. My pleasure, CPR. And I hope Venezuela finds peace and calm and starts seeing major economic prosperity. Really, what the United States does to countries with their sanctions and just covert wars and assassinations and sabotage is just fucking crazy. Crazy. Mafia Chycho, what do you think about Alija? Is it Bush? I would have to see the name, the face. I don't know. Mafia, I don't know. The name doesn't ring a bell. The name doesn't ring a bell. Name doesn't ring a bell. Yeah, DuPont. Adrama says DuPont, Monsanto, evil. The Welsh Dragon 2000, salutations. Hey Chycho and gang, have we spoken about the riots in the UK? We did talk about it a little bit, but the riots in the UK, gang, just no matter where you're at with it, always keep in mind that central power, okay, wants to divide and rule us, right? So make sure you don't direct your anger against other people that are being screwed over by the same people that are screwing you over, right? So make sure if you're expressing your opinion and participating in civil demonstrations, civil disobedience, that you're directing the anger towards the politicians and the bureaucrats that are collapsing UK, not at the people they want you to direct your anger towards. Okay. One other thing I'll say as well, always keep in mind that they may be agent provocateurs in your midst. Or find out who they are. Plutonic Plurus, Venezuelans have to find a national sovereign democratic way to improve their political structure and economy. Yeah, and that Plutonic Plurus, that's not going to happen until the United States stops trying to coup the shit out of them, right? Until their assets are unfrozen, until the West stops waging war on them economically. Otherwise, it's going to continue on this path. But with the help of the BRICS, Iran, Russia, and China specifically, Venezuela has serious opportunity to have amazing future. Envious, yo, good evening, Chycho from Germany. Salutations, Envious. How you doing, my friend? Doing pretty good. Smoking cigars, drinking, chatting with amazing people. Life is good, man. Life is good. Steel Lord of Iron, happy Sunday, Chycho and group. Salute, gang, salute. Good drink. Sleepy, as a gay man, I agree with everyone's point stated so far. Avoiding the extremists is sadly hard to avoid now, especially with the younger gays. I am one of them. Luckily, there are enough sane people, so all hope is not lost. Also, may Venezuela be free of the evil of commies. Agreed as well. Agreed as well. Right? I don't agree with the dictatorship, with the communism, with the total control of everything. Totally disagree with that. But the people that are trying to creating a lot of the unrest and stuff, they're way more evil. They're They're vile. They're vile. They're the ones, Monroe Doctrine, right? They're the ones who have bled Latin America dry for decades. They cannot get power. They cannot get power. Real Zinworth. Iran says it's going to attack Arab countries that intervene on Israel. I think so too. Yeah, it's going to blow sky high. Real Zinworth. Anyone that is still supporting Israel is going to have the same fate brought on them as Intel networks, right? Intel, one of the largest, oldest companies, tech companies in the United States, possibly, it's not going to go belly up because the government will feed them shit ton of money, right? But it's gonna has a serious down. It's gonna skim the bottom, right? We're talking about Canadians as Terrence and Philip, Leslie Nielsen, and Due South. Nice. I forget how it goes. Oh my god. Keir Starmer released another video about the protest. Keir Starmer can kiss Chycho's ass. At AmuseGad on Rumble. Do you follow in a political podcast? I enjoyed the Duran. Yeah, Duran, Judge Napoleon, Scott Ritter, DG Politics, even though I don't agree with the communism points of view. So I don't agree with everyone's take on everything, right? Especially not Scott Ritter. Like Scott Ritter, I love, gang. This is one thing that people have a hard time. Woke people have a hard time grasping, right? So as soon as they disagree, the woke. This is another definition of the woke, right? We've got multiple definitions. Category. What are the woke? This. Here's another thing with the woke. The woke have TDS. We already established that. Here's another thing with the woke. If they disagree with one thing with you, then they'll stop listening to you, consider you a piece of crap. They hate you. They throw temper tantrums. All that shit, right? Here's the thing with Scott Ritter. If you've been following my work, you know I love Scott Ritter. I've been following Scott Ritter since the pre-invasion of Iraq, right? Because he was a weapons inspector. He was trying to prevent the war in Iraq, and I was hardcore trying to prevent that as well, right? That's a build up to the Iraq war, right? So I was following Scott Ritter way back then. He was putting out lectures, articles and stuff like this, telling people, look man, these people are pushing you into war. Don't buy into it, right? And you know that I'm Armenian, right? And Armenian genocide, first major genocide of the 20th century, pre-Holocaust, right? While Israel doesn't recognize the Armenian genocide. Scott Ritter doesn't think that the Armenian genocide was a genocide during World War I, right? I'm Armenian. If I was woke, I would hate Scott Ritter, right? I don't hate Scott Ritter. That's his opinion, right? I disagree with him in a big way. That was a genocide, right? But Scott Ritter says no, it wasn't a genocide. In my humble opinion, the reason Scott Ritter doesn't think it was a genocide is because he was fully in support of Israel years ago, until he started digging into what Israel is and what they are doing. And he is one of the most adamant people against Israel that you'll find, right? Someone that supported Israel up the yin yang, collaborated with Israel, right, for decades, is now one of the most anti-Zionist Israeli people you'll ever meet, right? In his opinion, Israel doesn't have the right to exist anymore, right? Zionism must end. I agree with that. And Israel has forfeited its right to exist. To a certain degree, I agree with that, but Zionist Israel has forfeited, in my opinion, Zionist Israel has forfeited its right to exist, right? But I still follow to most of the things that Scott Ritter puts out. I read, let's say, about 40% of the articles he puts out. I watch as many live streams as I can that he puts out, right? And as many interviews. I love it when he appears on other podcasts where they do interviews, right, with him. I watch almost all of those. Okay, so keep this in mind if you're listening to podcasts, following anyone's work or whatnot. If you disagree with one of their opinions and not believing that the genocide of the Armenians during World War I is not genocide is not a small thing, right? It's not a small thing, right? If you disagree with one thing that someone has to say, you don't have to write them off on everything they have to say. Okay, that's a sign of maturity. That's a sign of maturity. Okay, so coming back to your question, do you follow the political podcast? Yeah, the Durant, Scott Ritter, Alex, when he walks around and does his news reviews and stuff like this, Judge Napolitano, DG Politics, New Atlas, and a whole bunch of other ones. Paul Craig Roberts, any interviews that Paul Craig Roberts puts out on his website, I watch all of them. Martin Armstrong doesn't do podcasts, but he does appear in a lot of interviews and stuff like this. But AmuseGad, what I'm gonna do is sooner rather than later, we'll do a live stream where we'll go through my sources of news and information. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, Explorer of the World, thank you very much for redeeming 1,000 points on Twitch. Salute, salute, salute. And just so you know, the Explorer of the World, you can bank your points on Twitch, because at the end of the year, usually September, October, November, December, in November, we do auctions, yearly auctions, where you can win auctions based on how many points you're willing to bet on a certain item that we put up. And the items vary from comic books to trading cards to chycho made jam and honey. Oh, snap. Nice. Just a little bit more Bushmills. This is a great drink. And adding the water, a little bit of water, fantastic. Crack, I saw your comments. Let me read Crack's comment before I go back to Twitch. Crack, what did Crack say? It was about comic books coming up. Tim Vigil, wait a second. Scott Ritter just bought a few. Tim Vigil, oh yeah, Tim Vigil's amazing. Wait a second, we got comic book talk going on here. Godzilla, world's too crazy. I was thinking wait a second, what's going on? Hold on, there's a whole bunch of, let me add some water here, just a couple of drops. Oh, look at this. Okay, that's enough. I brought a lot of ice, but we're not going to use ice. We're going neat with just touch of water. Open it up. I gotta read these. I gotta get caught up with the comic book stuff. Okay, lava. Northern Exposure. Did you ever watch Northern Exposure? Yeah, a little bit of it. I barely remember it. P. Higgs on Censorship. I've heard of the Santos guy. Posted him in the occult section of the forum once. Cool. I must have watched. I must know who it is. Crack. How are you doing? Yo, what up, people? I just came back from seeing one of the most incredible comic collections I've ever seen in my life. 10% Marvel, DC, that's it. Nice. The rest underground, European, independent. Oh, Crack, I want to be there with you. Oh man, there's some of the rarest comic books you'll ever find are independents, in like underground comic books. That's some of the coolest stuff you ever seen, man. Fantastic. Mr. Chang, salutations, hope you're doing well. An absolute stunner of a collection. Wow. But mine doesn't even compare to anything like that. Mine is more than 50%, way more than 50% the DC and Marvel. 50% DC and Marvel. Ali, what are your thoughts on mocking Jesus at the Olympics? You can mock whoever you want. For me, I don't care, right? You can mock whoever you want. You can mock me, right? but it doesn't mean I have to participate in your activities, right? I haven't watched any of the Olympics. Zero. Not even no. What clips did I see? I just saw the boxing clips. That's it, right? But I don't watch the Olympics anymore. I used to hardcore, right? Higgs, how do you deal with people that know they are wrong and brainwashed but too proud to admit it? Oh, just cut them off. I'm done with them. I don't have too many of those people around. That's the garbage you throw out, right? Mr. Chang, is Canada is divided just like us? Oh yeah. Canada's divided hardcore. Canada's seriously divided, but Canadians are very passive to a certain degree until you piss them off, right? So for me, I'm very passive, but the system pissed me off a long time ago, so I went hard, right? And there's no turning back. Once you cross the line as a Canadian, when you go hard, you ain't never going back to being I'm bend over. No, you ain't gonna bend over again until retribution, right? That's a true Canadian. True Canadian hold their ground, right? We give. We're nice. Okay, come on. We're like what Jesus would say. Turn the other cheek. We turn the other cheek, and this cheek, and that cheek, and that cheek, and that cheek, and then you slap one of our loved ones, and then we come after you like a motherfucker, right? Don't do that, right? That's what we do. If you ain't doing that, you ain't a Canadian. Salute. P. Higgs, agent provocateurs are government plants, usually police, that are put in a peaceful protest to start violence, right? One of the places that you'll see what an agent provocateur is in 2008. Look this up, Higgs. I wrote articles on it back in the day. I've mentioned it during our live streams. I have links on it, but I don't have anything handy right now. Montebello, Quebec. I believe the demonstrations were in 2008. Okay, and it was against SPP, PPS, SPP. It was about the trade agreement between Canada, the United States, and Europe, and stuff like this. And it was a peaceful protest, and the police, and it came down later on. It went to court, and they found out that the head of the police department had planted 3 police officers into a peaceful protest, right? And they had masks on, right? And they were so stupid. They had the same type of shoes on. So police issued shoes on. They were holding rocks. This is a peaceful protest where parents are walking around or are in the protest with carriages with children in it. And they were trying to start a violent protest. They were trying to turn a peaceful protest into a violent protest, right? And the person that had organized this peaceful protest, right, recognized that these 3 protesters that were dressed the same way, holding rocks and trying to throw rocks at the police and trying to start violence, they were acting a little weird. So he went, hey, you guys are cops, you guys are police, you guys are agent provocateurs. And these 3 police officers dressed in civilian clothes in the protest were like, no, we're not. He's like, yeah, you are. What the hell? Why are you trying to start riot, violence, when it's a peaceful protest? We have a right to peacefully protest, right? And one of the reasons we know this is because the peaceful protest was marching, right? And in the front, and we have video footage of this, in the front, what was happening was the police were becoming more violent, right? And they were doing stuff. And there was one independent journalist that was filming it, and he didn't want to get caught up in the violence, right? I agree with him. So he went to the back or to the middle. He was working his way to the back of the protest, right? The march. And he noticed the scuffle happening between the organizer of the protest and these 3 agent provocateurs police officers trying to start shit up, turn a peaceful protest into violence. That way the state can justify using violence on the peaceful protesters, right? So he started filming this. So what we saw was these 3 police officers were backed against the wall, against the corner, and they slowly made their way up to the police line, and they whispered something to the police, the people who, the police officers who were holding shields, the riot police, whispered something, and the police officer told the other police officers, and they went, oh, we're arresting these guys. And they took these 3 police officers, the agent provocateurs that were pretending to be part of the protest, into their custody, and they pretended, well, they handcuffed them and stuff like this. They had them on the ground. And check this out, this is why we know they were all wearing the same brand new shoes, is because the video shows all of them wearing the same type of shoes, which is what police officers do. They have the same uniforms, right? So this went to court, right? And all this information was revealed in the Freedom of Information, the court proceedings, that yes, there were 3 police officers trying to start trying to turn a peaceful protest into a violent protest, so the state, so the police could bash in Canadian heads. All right. As far as I'm concerned, now I'm a peaceful guy. As far as I'm concerned, those 3 cops that tried to do this, and their superiors, all those people that gave these orders to these 3 cops that tried to do this, they should have been arrested, right? Put in prison, no bail, lock the keys, right? Put them on trial for terrorism, lock them up for 20 years minimum, right? That's as far as I'm concerned, because there were children at that protest. Those pieces of crap, as far as I'm concerned, if there was capital punishment in Canada, they should have faced capital punishment. Okay, those are agent provocateurs, and they're in almost every peaceful protest you will find in all Western countries, and probably other countries as well. Okay, apologies about crazy sounds, construction sounds here, gang. This isn't the construction going on our neighbors, it's somewhere else. There's insane noises here this year for some reason. Gang, I've missed a lot of chat. Going all the way to chat, let me give you guys if there's anything directed towards me, please let me know. Where, as far as numbers counts go, we hit a peak of 45 people on CensorTube. Right now we're sitting around 35. We got 5 people on Rumble, we got 30 people on Twitch, and I have no idea how many people are on BitChute. Just give me you guys a count. Okay, gang, I'm going all the way down to the bottom. Higgs, I do have the Batman, and this is I'm missing comic book discussion, but I can't catch up with the comic book discussion now. We've moved on. King Vibe, Chycho, you ever like wrestling? I've been watching that stuff. Olympic wrestling or the American wrestling, like Hulk Hogan and stuff. I used to wrestle like Olympic, not Olympic, US style or something, like Olympic wrestling, like real wrestling, if you want to say it. I belonged to the wrestling team in our school. I did a lot of wrestling. I love wrestling. As far as I'm concerned, the best defense martial arts, I guess it's not martial arts though, but the best fighting technique that you can learn to be able to protect yourself in a fight is wrestling, because it doesn't involve necessarily hurting the person that's trying to hurt you. It just involves grappling them down and locking them up, and if they still continue to try to hurt you, you can just do a little adjustment and they will stop. Okay, Greco-Roman wrestling, yeah, I love wrestling. I used to watch a lot of wrestling. I used to do wrestling. So grappling, subdue, grapple, subdue, and I'm pretty good at it. And I've been in fights, street fights, where lock them up. Right now, you can do stuff if you learn wrestling, where it's illegal to do in the wrestling mat, right? But in a street fight, anything goes. If someone's trying to hurt you, you have the full right, as far as I'm concerned, to do what you need to do to subdue them, right? Which also includes putting your hand on their face and taking these two fingers and putting in their eyeballs, and if they push a little too hard, you push a little harder. Okay, don't blind them. And if they continue to push, you move your fingers around a little bit, right? Unfortunately, I've had to do that before to people, because there are a lot of stupid people in the world that think threatening you or trying to harm you is a good idea. Bad idea. Amuse God, essentially what the RCMP did in the Coots Alberta border protest. Attractive RCMP women try to convince enamored men into making threatening statements. I'm assuming that's supposed to say statements, yeah. And the Coots stuff, the courts came down, and they still convicted him with a couple of things, which is insane, right? Love the wrestling sound effects. Punch kick hurts both parties. Yeah. Elder, what's Elder God saying? I use Krav Maga and Wing Chun, but I generally fight multiple opponents. Yeah, if you fight multiple opponents, do not get. One bit of advice, Elder God would agree with this, right? Can you see my message on BitChute? I can't see any messages on BitChute, but I might have to refresh. Let me refresh. Hold on. Is there a message or chat? Oh, I can see messages. 100%. Oh shit. Are you serious? You can't see how many are on BitChute. No, I can't see how many are on BitChute. I don't know why. Let me do a little refresh. I'm going to do a little refresh on BitChute. Doop. I see 54 views, but I don't know if that's 54 people watching. I can't see the live people watching, and I can't see the live chat. Can you? Are you seeing? Oh no, I am seeing it, but for some reason, oh, I can chat too. Crater Toga Binding. Are you seeing this message, chycho? Refreshing BitChute. Yeah. I refreshed it and I saw it. Yes, I can. What does my name come out as? Test. I come out as Miami Cantina Papa. Hilarious. Cool. That works. Okay, good. No, I do see. But I don't see how many people watching. Just in regards to street fighting and stuff like this, Elder God would agree with this. If you're facing one opponent, going on the ground, grappling, subduing them, doable. If you're facing multiple opponents, never allow yourself to get put on the ground. Ever. You do whatever you need to do to stay on your feet. If you're fighting multiple opponents, never ever allow yourself to be put on the ground. You put on the ground, it might be the end of you. Okay. Just make sure not to run. One survivor, 3 day late. No, I can't fight very well, but I've been in a few of them. Yeah, Higgs, I don't get into fights, not anymore anyway. I haven't been into a fight for a long time, right? My advice to people who get in a situation that they might have to fight, run. Okay, run. No sharp we're talking about. Plutonic Forest. When I logged into BitChute, I was first directed to the old BitChute site. Then, as something was updated, I am now on a new BitChute and can chat. but my nickname changed. Oh, that's what it is. I was logging in as the old BitChute. That's probably why. And I'm on a new BitChute. Oh, I see chat now. Cool. Oh, there's chat. Can I pop this sucker out? There's no place to pop it out. Can I? Room, autoplay, room, login only, everyone filter. No, I can't pop it out. Yeah, there's chat on BitChute. Unfortunately, I can't pop it out yet. This is still in beta mode for BitChute, so at some point we will pop it out, and I can put it as a separate window on my screen where I'm watching 3 chats right now. God, I have several videos of Muslim gangs attacking single white people today. Thanks, traders. Stormer, yeah. And Elder God, keep in mind, Asian provocateurs. Some of those people might be agents. For them to be able to roll out more draconian laws, right? I can run pretty fast, like a gazelle. Yeah, me too. I used to run track and field 100. I can run pretty fast, and that's my out. If you can run fast, get out, right? You can't run in prison. Can't run in prison. Got to face Big Baba. A great movie, by the way. I think, Elder God, do you know this movie? I think it's called An Innocent Man. It's with Tom Selleck. An Innocent Man. I think it's called An Innocent Man with Tom Selleck. Where a cop, and it's the guy from Miami Vice. He's one of the cops. They frame this guy, and he goes to prison. What a great! That's Tom Selleck's best movie. He's done some really good movies actually, but that's one of his best movies. Such a good movie. Chase Hudson on Censorship. I never try to fight or escalate anyone anymore. Never know if a person is strapped with a weapon or if that person is going through things in their life and have nothing to lose. Not worth it. Not worth it. Not worth it. Not worth it. I agree with Chase Hudson. Some of the times I felt the most is when I've won the fights, because the person ended up getting hurt, and that doesn't sit well with me, right? It just doesn't feel good hurting people. I don't like it. Jack, you're late. Baby Nice quote: 50 years ago, the streets of Leningrad taught me one thing: if a fight's inevitable, you must strike first. Putin. Yeah, and that's the number one rule, right? Do you know who usually wins the fight? The person who lands the first punch. Usually. Okay. And Putin is 100% correct. 100% correct. Yeah, if someone has nothing to lose, they can be very dangerous, which is applies to geopolitical realm as well, gang. Salute. By the way, we still have to harvest some grapes. How are we doing for time? Ooh, we got 20 minutes left. Gang, I'm gonna do a washroom stop and then come back and we're gonna harvest some grapes. Okay. Apologies if I'm not caught up with the chat. I'll be right back. have a little snack before we take the grapes down. Super yummy cucumbers. I'm gonna have a little Kuku too. And then we're gonna harvest grapes, okay? I made this 2 days ago. Greens from our CSA, as well as greens from a patio garden. Super yummy. It's got rice flour and eggs in it as well. Ali Math on Rumble. Salutations. Looks like quiche to a certain degree. Very yummy. Brad, Chycho looks like a lover, not a fighter. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Brad, I agree. I need to do more comic videos. I have a couple of comic book hauls I gotta show you guys. Should we do some harvesting of grapes? I'm just reading the chat. And a little water. So gang, what we're gonna do, we're gonna harvest some unripened grapes. Okay. And these unripened grapes we use in cooking. Okay. Jaguar rye, Chycho. Not sure if you covered this, but do you think RDJ being Doom? I don't know. I didn't like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. It just didn't work with me, right? I know a lot of people loved Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I didn't like it. I really actually didn't like the Iron Man movies, right? They were okay, but they weren't phenomenal like the way people are. Like, I would give them a 6 out of 10, but people are giving them like 8.5 out of 10. I'm like, nah, it didn't do it for me. So Robert Downey Jr. I don't know. Doom should be someone that's more serious than Robert Downey Jr. Not quirky humor. So I'm not sure. It depends how he plays it. But I again, it just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't do it for me. But right on, a Doom movie, hopefully a good one. Damn, they've done some bad ones. Adamar, Gwyneth Paltrow was a great expectation with Ethan Hawke. So good. Yeah, Great Expectations was really good actually. $100 short sort of lady. King 5. Robert Downey Jr. being Doom will be a good idea and give them cover to bring him over, but the F4 is poorly cast, so it hurts everything. There has never ever been a good Fantastic Four movie or adaptation. I don't know why. They're horrendous. They're some of the worst comic book movies ever. Some of the worst comic book movies ever. Their voices were even and low. Their eyes were double. Okay, gang. I'm gonna harvest some unripened grapes. Okay. We got a lot here, and I'm gonna harvest a fair bit. Okay. I'll show it to you as we're doing. this thing like this. And I'll bring him here as we come. Nice. You take like a handful of these. I take them off the stems, wash them, put them in the freezer, and then take a handful of these or a couple of handfuls and put in different stews or different. Amazing with chicken, amazing with beef. Surrounded by construction sounds. Craziness, craziness. I want them. I'm looking for the ones that are like nice and juicy, but they don't. Here, watch this. So take a look at this. That's as juicy as you want them to be, because you still want them to be hard. And when you eat them, they're tart, right? These are even a little bit too much, too ripened. This one looks better, harder, right? You want the skin to be fairly hard. You don't want to be able to squish it too much. So compare that to, let's see, this one. Here, I'll show you. It's a fine line, right? So compare this one with this one. This one, the bigger one, is a little too ripe, but still works, right? Let's see if this will focus. So this one, you can squish it, right? This one, much harder. Still tart. And this one, way tartar. Way tartar. So I'm gonna I'm gonna leave the chubbier ones, the ones that are a little bit too ripe. I'm gonna leave them on the vine for them to turn to grapes, ripened grapes. Lost a little bit. So check this out. This is how much we got so far. I'm gonna fill up another one. Salute, gang. There's so much we got. That's a nice one. Great with my booties. There's so much grapes, so much. One more round. One more. There we go. Okay, that's good for now. That's good for now. I'm gonna take some of these to family. And we have so much more. So much more. Like, so much more. Right? So these will be amazing. Right? And when you put them in, like, if you like tart food, like these guys, add it to your food, chicken, fish, beef. So good, so tart. Let me go put these in the kitchen. I'll be right back. You end up losing a little bit when you're doing the picking. They fall on the ground, so I gotta give the patio another sweep. I'm all the way down the bottom, gang. We gotta continue lighting our cigar. We're gonna go overtime for sure. Oh yeah, we're way overtime. Good stuff, good stuff. Good stuff, good stuff. Platonic blurs, great man, can disappear and reappear. Funny, funny. I look forward to the unripened grape harvest, or just a grape canopy and grape harvest every year. Like, it's just a joy. Ali, love you, man. Love you guys as well. Whoop. Salute, gang. I hope you're eating well. Just imagine how much the kitty cats love this patio. Just imagine how much the kitty cats love this patio, right? Because they can, as I appeared and disappeared, that's what the kitty cats do as well, right? There are times where it's time to bring the kitty cats in, you know, we're going to sleep late at night or whatever. It's just like, where are the kitty cats? We can't even find them, right? They're all hidden, looking for stuff, right? That's what kitty cats do. They're hunters, right? The bees are buzzing my ear. Fun stuff. Salute, gang. Is there anything that we haven't addressed? Oh yeah, next update for a map. Bangladesh is going to turn yellow. Venezuela is going to turn yellow, but Venezuela, hopefully it'll settle itself down in the next few days. Hopefully the coup doesn't go through, right? Bruh, chycho, don't eat too much of those grapes. They'll give you the mud butt. Predators, love cats, love cats, love cats. No, those grapes, you don't eat too much of them. You just take a bunch and put them in your stews or casserole dishes, or you're cooking chicken or beef. If you want to give something a tart flavor, those are number one. 8 years plus in your home. It's now a forest. Is it 8 years? It's 8 years now. Nice. Yeah, it's a forest. It's amazing. Like this one I brought over. Where is it? This guy right here. That's our cannabis plant. You can't really see it too much. And the other cannabis plant is well above my height now, right? So it's great. I love jungles. That's one of the reasons I got into geophysics. I loved going to the jungle, right? The bush. Give me a machete and a knife and the proper gear. Oh, I'll love it. Feral kitty. He's a cutie until he's not. King vibe. The Venezuelan coup really is the most low T coup ever. Like non-comical. Yeah. And the kicker is, like, if you look back at the types of coups that they conducted on Venezuela, or tried to conduct on Venezuela previously, man, you look at this and go, this CIA stuff is so bad now. So bad now. Platonic for Indiana chycho. Hilarious. Never heard of that phrase, mud butt. I love both bushes. Hilarious. Funny. Right. The, like, working in the bush, like I've done geophysics surveys, like, where we're doing, what were we doing? I can't remember what we're doing. We're doing either doing seismic with hammer, or we're doing electric. I can't remember what survey it was that we were doing, but it was two of us, and a bear was, we're by a creek on a slope, by a river on a slope, and the bears usually walk along the river to try to see if they can find some food, right? And black bears are pretty harmless, brown bears are not, but and the black bear was walking around, and we're like 15 meters away from it, 20 meters away from it, and it's walking, and it's pretty big, and we're like, ooh, there's a big black bear. And black bear, we're doing our thing, and the black bear notices us, and the black bear stops, because the black bear doesn't care. Black bear is the apex predator in the bush, in the wild, right? Same with a bobcat or a mountain lion or something, right? Cougar. But the black bear noticed us and went, who are these two schmucks in my woods? So the black bear turned around, looked at us for a bit, and then decided to start walking towards us. So what we did was threw rocks at it. So it sort of backed up, and then stood its hind legs and just stood up and looked at us for a bit. And then we threw things at it. And he kept on watching us for a while. So we kept on working. We kept on doing our thing. Doop, 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 doop. We're still doing geophysics. And a black bear is watching us like 20 meters away. Right? And then it lost interest and kept on going. Right? The one advice I can give you, if you go into the forest, if you go into the bush, if you're working somewhere, don't carry your food with you. Okay, if you have lunch and stuff like this, if you have food with you, make sure it's not stinky food. Make sure you're not wearing any deodorants or anything like this. Make sure if you're going into the woods, this is number one rule. If you're going into the woods with someone and they happen to be female, make sure it's not the time of the month where they're bleeding. This isn't sexist, this isn't this. This is plain simple survival fact. If you're going into the woods, if you are female, make sure it's the time of the month where you're bleeding. And if you're going with a female, make sure they understand that you're not going to go into the woods with them if they are bleeding, if there happens to be bears or cougars around. Okay. Your stream live for a black bear. Pitch black. The bear edition. Pitch black, the bear edition. Black bears are pretty harmless, man. Unless you get it between them and their cubs, or they're desperate. So it is what it is. I always say, Chase says, I always stay strapped when I'm hiking. Yeah, I don't. I've worked in places where we've had bodyguards when we're doing geophysics, sort of lookouts with guns, shotguns specifically, because we were working in grizzly country. And we saw a grizzly when we were working in grizzly country up Yukon, Alaska. Grizzlies, frightening. Like, huge. Like, you see a grown grizzly, gigantic. It will eat a shotgun for like appetizer, right? So yeah, grizzlies, very dangerous, very dangerous. The ultimate, you think Iran will attack today? Iran will attack in the next few days. If it's not today or tomorrow, it'll most likely be next weekend, maybe, or next few days. Yeah, I think Iran will strike. Yeah, Brad, don't put it that way. Put it a nicer way, right? I think Iran will attack. There's no. If I was Iran, I would attack. They assassinated a head of a state that was in peace in the process of doing peaceful negotiations for peace. Assassinated you while they were assassinated him while he was attending the inauguration of the president. If they did, if I was Iran, I would go ape shit on their ass. No holds barred. Fucking let it loose. You send the message out. No more holding back. Give it what you got. Make sure you time it, that you do what Russia did to Ukraine or Russia did to NATO, war of attrition, but make sure they pay a heavy price, right? You don't negotiate with Nazis. You don't negotiate with fascists. Fascists. You don't negotiate with those that commit genocide. You put them out of commission. That's it. You put them out of commission. Riddick says, quote, "It's death row down there, especially with the girl bleeding." Is that what it says? Yeah. You go in the bush anyway. That's what Riddick would say. Here's another thing with when you go into the woods, make sure you have someone in your crew that's not a very fast runner, because if the time comes where you gotta flee, you know you're not the one going to be eaten. It's the one that's really slow. Right? So, you know, take it with a grain of salt, but it's like playing poker on a table. If you're playing poker, you don't know who the sucker is, you're the sucker, right? So if you go into the woods with some people and you don't know who the slowest runner is, or if there's running to be done, then you're dinner for the whoever's gonna eat you. Or whatever's gonna eat you. And never wear perfumes or deodorants or use smelly soaps and stuff before you go into the woods. Do not do that. That's like insanity, right? Pluton, I hope the Iran etc. situation will be still on the rather symbolic and tactical level. Plutonic Plurus, I don't think it will be, but I'm with you. I hope it is. Hey friend, before we go, let me rub you with that honey there. If you go into the bush here. And you walk about 10 meters behind us. You need someone in front of you as well, maybe on either side as well, right? But in general, if you're working in the forest, in the bush, don't have your food on you. Make sure your food is in the truck or somewhere else. Don't bring smelly foods. Don't bring salmon. Don't bring simple food, snacks that don't attract attention of the wildlife. That's it, right? Just keep the woods is amazing. It's the most peaceful place. Some of the most peaceful places I've ever been in my life has been in the forest by myself, right? You don't know what's around you. You got to be aware, right? You don't listen to music. No. You have to listen to nature, right? You hear somewhere, you're looking over there. Okay, is that something big that just stepped on something that's making its way towards me, or is that just something settling, right? You have to be aware. It's like working at a construction site. You don't put on headphones in a construction site and work in a construction site. You have to listen to the noises of the construction site. You have to know what's happening. King Vibe, is there smart food to bring to the woods? In general, wherever you're going, it's not what the indigenous animals eat. Like in Canada, if you're going into the woods, don't take salmon with you. Like, that's crazy, right? Oh, we got a little beard hair here. Oh no, it's not beard hair, it's grapevine, right? Simple food. Don't take pepperoni and stuff, like smelly stuff. Don't take smelly stuff. Cheese is okay. Like cheese and green. Like, one thing I used to take into the woods is feta cheese on bread with herbs, greens, like parsley, cilantro, and stuff like this, right? A lot of greens and whatnot. Fruits is okay. In general, fruits is okay. Is pork a no? I don't know. I never really. If I'm in the woods for a long time, I don't. In general, I really didn't take meats with me because meat spoil, right? So if you're in the woods for 12 hours, 14 hours in the summertime, you would be, as a geophysicist anyway. Nuts is good, raisins is good, dates is good, bread is good, okay? Stuff that doesn't weigh much, because if you're walking around, so stuff that doesn't weigh much but gives you lots of energy, like gives you lots of energy, right? So nuts, raisins, dates, bread, simple fruit, all right? Jonah, hi Chicho. My middle son Cameron Graham are going to Canada at the end of this month to work in Perth, East Ontario, between that latitude. Perth, I think I've been there. I think I've done work there, but I can't remember it too well. If they're Jonah, if they're going to Canada at the when is it? At the end of this month, it's gonna be mosquito season, black fly season, depending on humidity, right? So mosquito and black fly, right? Make sure they have protection for mosquitoes and black fly. If they're going to be spending time in the woods a lot, and if it's a place where there's black flies, mosquitoes, and what else, different types of little bugs, maybe get them mosquito netting, right? Like you can buy sort of well, you can buy coveralls, but you can buy hoodies that have mosquito netting on them, right? So there's air flowing here on your face and different places, but there's a mosquito net on there, so black flies and stuff can't get in there and eat you up, right? Higgs, are a few moments of peace worth getting possibly eaten by an oversized animal? It's not about, if you're smart about it, you shouldn't get eaten by a big animal, right? Like, don't do stupid things in the wild. Be aware, and you need protection if you can. And in general, never go into the woods by yourself, never, right? Can we make a wood stream someday? Going into the woods? Did we get reception there? We're down to the last little bit on the cigar. After the stream, I'm gonna come and water the plants. They're thirsty. Yeah, we got lots of tomatoes this year. So many tomatoes. We started harvesting some of the tomatoes. There's going to be a whole bunch coming in that are going to be ripe, and most likely during one of our live streams, we'll harvest some tomatoes as well. Chycho, what if Bigfoot shows up? You're dead. Depends what version of the Bigfoot. Is the Bigfoot that kills you, or the Bigfoot that's like a nice, peaceful, loving giant bear? Right? Chase, what was the longest time you stayed in the woods? I've camped in the woods, but in general, I would go into the woods. It would be just for the day, right? And we wouldn't camp out there in general. Okay, how many camp houses I did in the woods? I can't remember. Not many, one or two maybe, right? But in general, go into the woods, right? You drive down logging roads or wherever you're going, right? You plan it, right? Logging woods or wherever you're going. You do your work, but you try to get out before the dark comes in. Okay, before the dark comes in. The most dangerous animal that we have in British Columbia, Canada, are cougars and grizzlies. The other one is brown recluse spiders, and they're everywhere if you go attics and stuff like this, so you have to be careful with that, right? Herpidorp, how are you doing? Hey Chycho, any tips on harvesting high up blackberries, especially when there's thorns? Take ladders, take wood, and take a big stick that you can drag the vines down, right? So what I do when I go blackberry harvesting, I have a step ladder and machete, and I have a machete with me, right? So I have to have, if I need to cut to get somewhere, I can cut to get somewhere, but I can take my step ladder and drop it on the thorns, on the vines, and step on the step ladder and go deep in. And if I need to reach high up, I use my step ladder and a big stick and pull the vines down, right? But some of the top ones, is, unless you have a really tall step ladder, it's hard to get, right? The ultimate. A Persian military journalist wrote that Iran is capable of firing up to 5,000 missiles with a range of 1,200 kilometers simultaneously. You think that's real? I think they can fire more than 5,000. The ultimate. I think Iran instantaneously can easily fire 10,000 missiles. Hezbollah has 100,000. What? No, not 100,000. Has 300,000 missiles, or over 100,000 missiles they can fire. Israel is playing with fire. If the resistance, Hezbollah, Iran, Syria, Yemen, Lebanon in general, Hamas, if they wanted to right now, they could level Israel. They could level Israel. They're just not doing it, right? They're just not doing it. Chase Hudson, cougars are effing terrifying. There is no outrun. Yeah, with cougars, no. Cougars, you have to make noise. Cougars treat them like cats, right? Cougars treat them like cats. Loud noises. Bam. Make yourself big. Multiple locations. Throw things in one direction, they'll look in the other direction. Make a gigantic bang, right? Major noise. With bears is a different game. Bears, just don't get between them and their cubs. Black bears. Brown bears, different game. Nukes are keeping Israel alive, but so is generally geopolitics, right? No country wants to be responsible for annihilating Israel, right? Because if they do, then the weight of the world is going to come down on them, right? You don't want to do that. People want to live in peace. The people who are pushing for war right now, Israel, United States, EU, and the UK, right? And Western countries in general. They're pushing for war. Why? Because their economies are collapsing. They're in deep shit. It's going to be a hell of a ride, man, in the next few weeks. The ultimate. I don't know what he meant by simultaneously. I mean, he meant a load time of about 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, I think in 2 to 3 hours they could fire a lot more. I think they could fire thousands upon thousands of missiles at Israel, right? And drones as well. Put drones in there. It's dancing vigil. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Chycho, walking around in a machete and a big stick. Now that is an image. I've done that many times. Machetes, knives, and in the woods. It's cool, man. I love it. Plutonic keeps you healthy. It keeps you in, what was it called? Fighting shape, Aldegon? Is that what you call it? Plutonic. So is it a good to take a megaphone or horns into the woods? Yeah. Like those when you go to protests and stuff, but you have to have it handy if something's chasing you. Like with cougars, you have one of those, it's like air horns with you. Great idea. Pepper, like bear spray in general. When I was working in the woods, we considered that to be basically spice that you put on yourself before the bear ate you, right? So bear spray, no. I've had bear bangers with me, and there are multiple different types of bear bangers. There are bear bangers I think you can just crack and just throw, right? And they go boom, they're loud, right? There's bear bangers you have that you can put in a gun. I have a gun bear banger, right? Where they have pellets. You put the pellets in the tube, in the barrel, right? And you shoot it. What you want to do, you want to shoot it above you, right? So you put the pellet, the cartridge, the banger into the barrel, and you shoot it up, and it's supposed to explode on top of you, so the sound vibrates down, you being the epicenter, goes out, and if anything's around you chasing you or thinking about coming towards you, they run away from that. The mistake that some people do is they put the they put the they put the they put the cartridge in the bear banger and they shoot it towards the charging bear or whatever it is, right? And the charging bear doesn't charge you right away in general, so hopefully you have time to bring out the bear. They shoot it towards it, right? And what happens is the banger goes past the bear, explodes behind the bear, and the bear runs towards you faster. So don't do that, right? But the air horns, good idea, good idea. Bear spray, I don't know. I haven't heard too many good things about bear sprays. In the subways to keep away human predators, sure. Pepper spray, bear spray works wonders, right? Against bears, not so much. Not so much. In general, be wise, make yourself big, don't have smelly things on you, make sure you're making noise, don't be stealth in the woods, because if you're stealth and you come up on a bear in stealth mode and you make a noise, they get frightened, they're gonna ruin you, right? So you want to make noise, right? That's for bears. For cougars, some people would say, I know in different countries they put masks behind them, like face masks, because cats in general want to attack you from behind. So if they have a face facing you, I don't know if that works in where I am, I've never tried that, but in general, just being aware is the most important thing you can do. Like if you go in the woods, you want to make noise to a certain degree, but if there's two of you walking, just don't chitter chatter with each other without paying attention to what's around you. Be aware, be aware, be aware. There's so many people that aren't aware, right? Elder God, lay flat on your stomach and spread your legs apart. Keep your pack on. It will help protect you during an attack. Stay still and don't move any noise. You're trying to convince the bear that you aren't a threat, or it is, or to it or its cup. Elder God, that works for grizzlies. For black bears, you fight. If a black bear is attacking you, you fight, you hit. For grizzly, black or brown bear, there's no fighting in this. Even if you hit him in your nose, you want to protect your neck, right? If you're being attacked, you're going to protect this part. You protect your neck, like the vital areas, your vital organs, right? So you go into a crunch mode, protecting your neck. You're protecting because they're going for it, right? Black bears, you fight. Google has killed many people with that advice. Yeah, Google has killed, Elder God says it. Google has killed many people with that advice. Deep Flake, a Japanese person I know, wears a bell thing, yeah, on their backpack when walking the woods to not startle bear. Yeah, that's a great idea. Some people wear bells on their feet. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Deep Flake, that's real advice. That's good advice, right? Okay. Piscona, dang, those are some dangerous words. Here the worst I can find are probable boars or Wolverine. Elder God, chycho, you want me to reverse spin? That'd be hilarious. Higgs, what do you think will happen to the US if Trump wins the elections? I think the stock market will rally, but Trump is a Zionist. Vance is a Zionist, his backer is a Zionist. War with Iran. Ukraine stops, war with Iran, Middle East expands. It is what it is, right? The ultimate. Is the US capable of firing these rats of these rates of missile barrages? No. Maybe for a day, right? NATO has shown, blew their load on Ukraine, by the way, but NATO has shown that they're a paper tiger. Okay, they're out of ammunition. They're out of not out of ammunition, but they're running low. Their military, the best military they were able to train, right? Russia annihilated 3 times, right? That's the original. What if the black bear is hooked on cocaine? You're screwed. Don't make noise. Don't, because of cocaine. You can't probably may not be able to smell anything. He's just going for noise, right? His sense of smell is done. As is most people have known that. Okay, I'm gonna take one more hit of this. That's it. One more hit. We do one more hit. Light it up one more time. Take one more hit. Have a sip. If you're don't get in an ambulance trying to outrun the bear. That was cocaine bear was hilarious. Hilarious. Higgs, do you think Trump has a choice in this anyways, or any president for that matter? I don't think they have quite as much power behind closed doors. I've never been quite knowledgeable about the politics. See, here's the thing, Higgs. No, for the last little while, the deep state, permanent state, has been running the United States of America, but that's in the forefront now. Everyone knows this. So, if a president comes in right now, will they be able to take control back for the United States of America anyway? From the looks of it, the 3 top candidates, and Robert Kennedy is just, he doesn't have a chance, and he's warmonger, and he's foolish on many aspects except on the injections, right? They're all Zionists, hardcore Zionists. One's trying to outdo the other one, right? However, there is the possibility of someone coming in that will, within the first few days, weeks, months at max, will completely arrest, should be able to completely arrest the heads of the CIA, FBI, NSA, all the 3 and 4 letter agencies, arrest or detain them. Let's say detain them until an investigation to find out who they're working for and what they've done. And then you need to do a purge. However, the way that purge looks like, it's a difficult task. I think most likely the collapse and the breakup of the United States will happen before that happens. If the United States is going to remain intact, someone needs to come into power that is able to do that. It's the only way, as far as I see it. Very nice. Very nice. Salute, gang. Very nice. Productive live stream. We've harvested some grapes. Cucumbers. I'm gonna eat cucumbers and one more kuku. We're almost 3 hours. Very nice. Hicks says that's very risky though. How do they survive without getting assassinated, their character or their life? Risky indeed. Make it up for last week, Elder Guy. Yeah, risky indeed. But if we want to save the United States of America, that's what's needed. There's traitors amongst your midst, among Western countries. They need to be dealt with. Kuku. They need to be dealt with. Brass says it. We've got to have a sense of humor even in this crazy world. Indeed. Super delicious. It's so good. Eat healthy, gang. Higgs is asking, do you think Vivek Ramsaway would be a good pick? He's also a Zionist. He's also pro waging war in Iran. Iran will break the United States of America. What a mistake. What a mistake the United States did by continuing to wage war on the United States of America, on Iran. Crazy. Kuku. So you're Iranian. I finally figured it out. Friend angry. Armenian Iranian. Kuku gave it away, eh? Delicious, delicious, delicious. When they expose stuff, it's basically a smokescreen hiding their true intentions. We'll see. United States of Israel. United States of Zionism. Right? Western world. All of them. Crazy. Gang, let's call it a stream. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed our almost 3 hours on the patio. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Worth chilling with you guys, man. Brings us peace, brings us peace. We eat food, we chit chat about whatever we want. Life is good, life is good. Salutations, stay safe. Indeed, real xenomorph. Alright, Chycho, do you like gourmet sabzi? Oh, gourmet sabzi, gourmet sabzi, gourmet sabzi. Khorish badunjun, I love khorish badunjun. Fesenjun, oh, I love fesenjun. Persian food is the best food. Gang, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Sunday and the rest of the week. We'll see what comes. We'll see what comes. I'm gonna do a quick little outro. If you want to know what this work is about, we're on Patreon, Substack, Subscribe Star. You can follow the work there. For those of you supporting this work, I want to salute you with water. Supporting this work on those platforms and more. Thank you very much for the support, gang. We do have a Gilded server. You're welcome to join us there. We do have a Matrix server as well. Matrix, what do we call it? Not room, but channel? Is that what we're calling it, Elder God? But I'll provide those links once we're completely set up on Matrix. We're still adding rooms and stuff like this. Okay. Gilded, the Gilded King is dead. Yeah, long live the Matrix King. Yeah, I think we're slowly gonna go space. We got a Matrix space. Thank you, Elder God. We got a Matrix space that I'll start providing. I've set it up so the link's going to be available in, if I don't forget, all the posts that are going to be posted on from now on. So you can look in the description of the video. So you're definitely welcome to join us there. I think that might be our permanent home for a while. We are live streaming on Twitch, on Rumble, on BitChute, and on Censorship. So fantastic. And we'll see what we can do about Odyssey. And I heard Truth Social is allowing live streaming, so we'll see what we can do about that. But fun times. It's good to be streaming on multiple platforms. We do have a SoundCloud page where we upload some of the audio as podcasts. I haven't done so for a while, but we'll get back into it when fall rolls around. Okay, we're on Twitter, we're on Minds, we're on Gab, we're on VK, we're on Substack Notes, we're on Truth Social, and we're on Getter. You're definitely welcome to follow us there. And gang, salute to you that come to our live streams. Salute to the mods for being here, taking care of business and having our backs and engaging us and making sure everybody's taken care of. Gang, salute. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you guys maybe later on this week. I don't think I can do next weekend, but we'll do next week, probably multiple days during the week. We'll see. But I hope you enjoy your time until next time. Salute, gang.